resolution-wise, and let's just talk about resolutions. There's a few things that are kind of floating through my mind, but resolution being maybe the primary topic. Because what is a resolution? Really, a resolution for me, just thinking about it, is just resolving to make a plan, set a goal, have some intentionality, or even personal accountability, saying, even if it's just internally within yourself, and most people would take it even a step further and say, okay, beyond just myself, beyond my, just my own internal recognition of something that I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and make a public statement, and when I say public, it doesn't have to be, sent out to the masses of, X number of people. It doesn't have to be a public broadcast on a social media network. It doesn't have to be, an ad that gets put out on the paper. It doesn't have to be anything beyond, sharing whatever the goal is, whatever you're trying to accomplish with maybe, just with one other person. It could be with a spouse, it could be with a friend, it could be with a child, it could be with a parent, just somebody else that most of the time would be somebody in a relationship with you where you are confiding in them that, hey, I've got this internal desire to do something different or beyond what I've currently been doing in my recent history or past, and I want to resolve, I want to make a commitment to do something differently than what I've been doing it. And I don't know, some people are very comfortable maybe with making resolutions. Some people are very opposite, and they don't see a need, or they don't want to make any commitments. People are, there's a lot of people that are very prone to saying that, they don't want to be committed to virtually anything, and they don't want to be hemmed down or put into a corner, and they don't see any maybe benefit or necessity to try to make any commitments to anything, or they don't see the value there. And I'm probably one of those people. I'm probably leaning towards being one of those people that I shy away from wanting to resolve or to make any commitments, especially regarding the things that I am already, internally struggling with, the things that I want to do but fail to do, the things that I have, in recent, or not recent past, but in my history in the past, maybe was successful at, specifically things like diet and exercise, time reading the Bible, spending time in the Word, and spending time in prayer, things that came naturally to me, and I didn't have to make any commitments to do those things because I was naturally inclined to do them. I had a passion for them. Nobody was kind of forcing my hand to do those things. Those were things that I did because I enjoyed them. I found excitement around diet and exercise at different points. I found excitement around, studying God's Word, getting to know the Lord, hearing from Him, trusting Him, bringing all things to Him in prayer. Those things ignited a passion in me, so I didn't have to plan for, I didn't have to set a goal around those things at different points in my life because they were quote unquote naturally taking place in my life, and those were things that I was benefiting from. Those things were good and healthy for me. I was the recipient of all of the benefits that come with diet and exercise. I was the recipient of the benefits of spending time in the Word and spending time in prayer. I was the recipient of a quote unquote close walk with the Lord. In those times, at least, I was feeling a closer connection to the Lord in those times. And I am just somebody who likes authenticity. I don't like being somebody who's scripted. I don't like being somebody who has to plan. I don't like having to set reminders. I don't like having to do checklists. I don't like having to have a whole lot of structure. I like to go with the flow. I am, for all intents and purposes, in my flesh, in my humanity, I am a very I rebel. My natural tendency is to rebel against anything that requires structure, anything that requires planning. That is work to me, and this will go into another topic, but maybe we'll stray into this other vein of this topic, because work is something that is part of the reason that I probably stay away from structure, and I probably stay away from what I would call resolution or setting up goals, because in my work life, in my vocation, goals are very, much integrated into work. And I, in my work life, constantly set up goals for myself to achieve, for my employees to achieve, for my teams to achieve, for my department to achieve. I'm always setting up goals, and I'm always seeing how we can do to achieve those goals. I'm seeing what we can do to more efficiently achieve those goals, or how we can work to go beyond those goals, how we can stretch ourselves to make the goals even more impactful, and to show off and to display how how much more we can do as, like I said, individuals, teams, departments, to do better for the company, for the clients, etc. And that is a lot of work. It's a lot of planning. It's a lot of preparation. It's a lot of tracking. It's a lot of presentation. It's a lot of just work to essentially kind of center everything around whatever we've set be a good thing. God put Adam in the garden to work it prior to the fall. This was meant to be a good thing. God blessed Adam by giving him the garden and by giving him the opportunity to work the garden. What happened when Adam and Eve sinned in the garden and ate of the tree of knowledge of good and evil is that God came in and asked Adam what he did, and Adam said, I did it because of the wife that you gave me. And the wife said, no, I did it because the serpent deceived me. And God turned to to the serpent and said, cursed are you, promising in that moment that he was going to send a Messiah, that Jesus was going to come, and Jesus was going to restore all things by crushing the head of the serpent, by destroying sin and death through the Messiah, through Jesus. But he also told Eve that she was going to bear children, and that was now going to be through pain. And she was also, instead of going to be blessed by being the helper that God created her to be, she was also going to want to have control or to lead Adam, and she was going to be placed under Adam. So there was going to be this conflict of interest in that relationship now going forward because of sin. What was supposed to be the blessing becomes a tension point, right? She was created in the likeness of God to bring glory to God, and she was created in a good way, in a blessed way, to be the helper for Adam. But now all of a sudden that's become a tension point, a thing that is now affected because of sin, because of God punishing them for sinning. It's a punishment. And then Adam was given this blessed, ability to work, but then God turns that blessing into a punishment. It says now you're going to work the field and it's going to curse you. It's going to be hard labor for you. Now it's not going to just be a blessing and a good thing. Now it's going to be something that's difficult and hard and laborsome. So work now becomes something that's laborsome and something that is not enjoyable. And so when we come into, whether or not we should have structure, whether or not we should have resolution, whether or not we should have additional work that we would place upon ourselves, heck yeah. I don't think that I'm crazy to say I don't want to do that. I don't think that any of us are crazy to say that we don't want to do that, because it's hard. It's toil. It's difficult. But it is actually a blessing. It's actually going to produce for us, but it's going to be difficult because of the fact that we're being punished because of sin. We are sinners. We are living in this fallen world, in this human flesh, and the toil, the pain of the work that we have to do, it's going to be hard because of sin. But that doesn't stop us from working. It doesn't stop women from bearing children. They're going to bear it in pain, but they're going to continue to have children, and that's a good thing. That's a blessing. The children are a blessing, but it's going to be difficult. Just God in His sovereignty and His wisdom, it is actually good for me to have structure. It's actually good for me to have work and to have the structure and the resolution. So anyway, what I'm setting up for 2025, my proclamation, you can hold me accountable via, if you know me, or you can check in on these videos. But what I want to do is I want to spend, basically, if you break up the Bible and all of the chapters in the Bible, I did the math on it the other day. It comes out to like 2.7 something, so like let's say 2.8. If you break up all the chapters in the Bible, divide it over the 365 days a year, it's like 2.8 chapters per day to be able to read through the Bible in a year. So I am going to set out and just say, okay, I'm going to read at least 4 chapters in the Bible a day. So that's resolution number 1. 4 chapters in the Bible per day. Second is I am going to stick to coffee and water for what I'm drinking, and I'm going to stick to a carnivore diet, meaning that I'm going to basically continue to leave out carbs, the bread, pastas, things like that, and sugars. I'm going to say like 95% carnivore. You know, if I have a fruit or a vegetable here and there, I'm not going to be concerned about that. But any sugar, like produced sugars or artificial sugars, things like that, I'm going to cut out of my diet. And going to go to the gym every day. If I don't go to the gym, then at least do push-ups, sit-ups at home, but work out daily. And then the other thing is to do daily check-ins, and I just decided I'm going to do that through YouTube on these videos and just talk and post those videos every day. And hopefully God might use that, glorify himself, maybe encourage somebody else, maybe stir some dialogue, stir some questions, maybe have somebody go check out some things themselves in the Bible, however that might work out. And so those are the 4 things. So Bible reading, diet, go to the gym, and daily check-ins. And then hopefully there's going to be some additional things that I'll be able to accomplish throughout the year. But those are the 4 things. Of course, I want to love my wife, spend time with my kids. All of that goes unsaid. But those are the 4 things that I'm resolving to do.